नारायणं पद्मभुवं वसिष्ठं शक्तिं च तत्पुत्रपराशरं च व्यासं शुकं गौडपदं महान्तं गोविन्दयोगीन्द्रमथास्य शिष्यं श्रीशङ्कराचार्यमथास्य पद्मपादं च हस्तामलकं च शिष्यं तन्तोटकं वार्तिककारमन्यान् अस्मद्गुरून् सन्ततमानतोऽस्मि। भगवद्गीता चैप्टर 2 श्लोक 56। दुःखेष्वनुद्विग्नमनाः सुखेषु विगतस्पृहः वीतरागभयक्रोधः स्थितधीर्मुनिरुच्यते। Krishna continues Sthitaprajna Lakshanani. How a Sthitaprajna, his mind acts in pleasant and unpleasant moments of life. The life consists of both pleasant as well as unpleasant moments, both pleasant and unpleasant experiences. When there is an unpleasant experience, a shock, a shocking experience, most often people break down, people get dejected, feel helpless, lose all hopes. This is what happens when there is an unpleasant experience in life, a shocking experience. Like a loss of a near and dear one, or a great loss of wealth, people break down. That is how an ordinary person who is susceptible to psychological problems, susceptible to breakdown, susceptible to emotional breakdown, how he reacts. An ajnani is psychologically susceptible, psychologically vulnerable to breakdown, to emotional breakdown. But unlike an ajnani, A jnani does not show psychological vulnerability to break down. He does not get dejected even when there is the most unpleasant event of life. He does not break down. How will a jnani look upon life? It can be understood with the instance of a movie. People watch movie. No movie is real. It is only real, not real. Real means, what is real? Earlier there used to be real. Now it's all digital. Real is not real. Yet, people go and pay money and spend 3 hours watching movie. Why? They want some entertainment. That is why people go and watch, spend 3 hours. And after going to the theater and buying ticket, you sit in the hall. Then you say, it is all unreal. The movie is unreal. It's just real. So let me not even watch the movie. You will not enjoy. If you have to enjoy the movie, you have to watch the movie. And while watching the movie, whether you are aware of it or not, you are attributing some amount of reality to the movie. Some amount of reality is attributed to all the characters in the movie. That is when you can enjoy the movie. When the hero and heroine jump from the terrace, if you say this is all unreal, if you have not attributed any amount of reality to the movie, you will not enjoy, even whether they jump from the terrace. So whether it is a joyous moment in the movie, or whether it is a tragic instance in the movie, a tragic scene in the movie, to enjoy the movie, the audience, the viewer has to attribute some reality. Yes, this is the life of the hero and heroine. And the audience, the viewer somehow identifies with the hero and heroine. They should be happy in life. In the subconscious, it comes. That is when the viewer wishes that the hero and heroine should end up marrying. But then finally problems come. There are villains. All these create some emotions in us. And if it is a tragedy movie, people pay for a tragedy movie, knowing that it is a tragedy. For crying, they pay and cry. Why you have to pay and cry? Even the tragedy gives a thrill. When at the last scene, hero and heroine jump from the terrace, you cry and come out of the movie scene with a tissue paper. I heard there was a movie and they distributed tissue papers free of cost. Along with the ticket, they gave tissue paper also. Why? Because anyway this movie is going to produce some tears. So to wipe you need tissue paper. So it is pay and cry movie. So he watches a tragedy movie. And while watching a movie, he identifies with the movie, sort of. But in the meantime, in the heart of his heart, he is fully aware that this movie is just a story. It is not my life. And it is not a real life also. Being fully aware of the unreality of the movie, you attribute some reality to it. That is when you enjoy. But if you attribute full reality to the movie, more reality than it deserves, then we may get heart attack also. That is what happens sometimes. When hero and heroine jumped, this person got heart attack. Movie got over, but one person is not leaving the seat. So there was a tragedy movie shooting was going on. Then the last scene was hero and heroine had to jump from the terrace. So now this producer, director, all are standing there while shooting the scene on the top of the terrace, multi-story building, 25th floor or whatever. Then the hero and heroine have to jump. But before jumping, they wanted to make sure whether they are holding the net or not down below. Because the one who is jumping should not die finally. Then the hero and heroine hero asked, are they holding the net? We are going to jump now for the last scene. So then the producer said, don't worry, anyway it is the last scene. So, when we watch a movie, we attribute some reality. If the movie is absolutely unreal in our mind, we don't attribute any reality to the movie at all, then we cannot enjoy the movie. The money we paid will be a waste. In the meantime, if we attribute more reality than it deserves, then heart attack. We will destroy ourselves. A Jivan Mukta attributes some reality to the life, to such an extent that he can conduct his vyavahara. He attributes realities to the life. But in the meantime, he knows that no situation in life, no event in life is affecting his Swarupa. From the standpoint of his Swarupa, it is unreal. A jnani knows this very well. That is why dukkheshvanudvignamanaha, an event of dukkha, an event of sorrow will be like a tragedy in the movie for him. He will also perhaps cry. Just like when someone watches a tragedy movie, he cries. He may also shed some tears when there is a painful event in life, when there is a sorrowful event in life. He may also express his sorrow. He will not say, I am a Jivan Mukta, I am not affected. He won't say that. He may also express his condolence, his sorrow, when someone has passed away or some loss has happened. But in the meantime, he will not break down. He will not feel helpless. Unlike an ajnani who attributes full reality to life, a jnani will not break down. He will feel sorrow. He will feel some sadness for a while, but eventually he will come out of it easily. Just like if someone watches a tragedy movie today, after the movie he is okay. No more tears. Okay. Therefore, Bhagavan describes a jnani, dukkheshvanudvignamanaha, dukkheshu, Dukkha refers to the unpleasant events of life. When there are unpleasant events of life, a jnani remains anudvignamanaha. His mind is not udvigna. His mind is not dejected. And sukheshu vigata spruhaha. Sukheshu, when there is sukha, when there is a pleasant event in life, a pleasurable event in life, what happens to an ajnani? He wants more of it. This is pleasurable. I want more of it. He expects more of the pleasant events in life. Something gives me happiness, and I want more of it. Spruha, desire, increases when there is a pleasant event. A pleasant experience adds to one's desire for similar pleasant experiences. But it does not happen so with an ajnani. With a jnani, there is a pleasant experience. When there is a pleasant experience, he will enjoy the pleasant experience. Yeah, this is a pleasant experience. Today I got jalebi. Pleasant. But in the meantime, he knows that this pleasant experience need not last forever. And he does not expect such a pleasant experience always. Also, his happiness, his fulfillment is not dependent on such pleasant experiences. And he does not attribute reality to the pleasant experience. It is also like a comedy movie for him. It is just a passing event. For a while he will be a little happy, he will enjoy, but then it is gone. He does not expect similar events again and again. He doesn't expect similar experience again and again. Therefore, pleasant experiences do not add to his expectations. Therefore, sukheshu vigata spruhaha. In sukha, in pleasant experiences, he does not have spruha, he does not have desire, he does not expect pleasant experiences, because he knows that even the pleasant moments in life are unreal. They don't add any happiness to my swarupa. वीतराग भय क्रोध. Raga, bhaya and krodha. Raga means a strong attachment is called raga. Shobhanadhyasa nibandhanaha vishayeshu ranjanatmaka chittavritti visheshaha atyantabhinivesha rupaha ragaha. Madhusudana Saraswati says, what is raga? Shobhanadhyasa nibandhanaha. Raga is brought about by Shobhana Adhyasa. Shobhanadhyasa means superimposing desirability on an object. The object is promising in nature. This is superimposed on the object. Then it is called Shobhana Adhyasa. Various objects seem to be promising. As long as one does not probe into its truth, it seems to be promising. This gentleman sees a lady, a girl, and the girl is beautiful, and he feels like getting married to the girl. And the girl was happy, oh, someone wants to marry me, and they got married. I am telling a story, another story, okay? Then after getting married, this man was not so good looking, but this girl was very beautiful. So man was very happy that I got married to a beautiful girl. And he took the girl to his house after getting married. Then it was time to go to bed. Then the girl started removing her makeup. So first she removed her hair. No hair in the head. Then she removed her teeth, denture. Then the boy got shocked and he fell down. This is called Shobhana Adhyasa. It appears beautiful. The beauty is superimposed on an object. It is called Avicharita Ramaniya. Until one really probes into the truth, it looks Ramaniya, beautiful. Because of Shobhanadhyasa, objects become Avicharita Ramaniya. It becomes attractive until one probes into the truth of it, inquires into the truth of it. सो शोभनाध्यास निबंधनः विषयेषु रंजनात्मक चित्तवृत्ति. A chittavritti, raga is a chittavritti, a function in the mind which is in the form of ranjanam, attraction to the object, taste, interest in the objects, attachment to the objects. An extreme interest in various objects. Ranjanatmaka chittavritti visheshaha atyantabhinivesha rupaha. And it is in the form of atyanta abhinivesha. A very strong attachment, a strong pull towards the object. I cannot do without it. It is called raga. It is a stronger form of kama, a stronger degree of kama is raga. Vitaragaha. A jnani is vitaragaha, free from raga. Free from attachment to the objects. And vita bhaya, free from insecurity and free from krodhaha, free from hatred. Krodha is generally translated as anger, but anger is just a momentary expression of hatred. Krodha is hatred in this context. Vita krodhaha, free from hatred. He does not even hate the unpleasant. He does not have attachment to the pleasant, and he does not hate the unpleasant. Vitaraga bhaya krodhaha. Munihi. He is a munihi. Mananat munihi. He does manana. His mind is full of contemplation. He is engaged in contemplation, engaged in jnana nishtha. Therefore, he is munihi. And he is called sthitadhihi. Sthitadhihi uchyate. Such a person is called sthitadhihi. Sthitadhihi means sthita prajnaha. See the bhashya. Kincha. Kincha. Moreover, in addition to the previous lakshanas, some more lakshanas are being told. Dukkheshu, adhyatmikadishu, prapteshu, na udvignam, na prakshubhitam, dukkha praptau, mano yasya, soyam अनुद्विग्नमनाः दुःखेषु. In dukhas, plural. And what are the dukhas? The dukhas can be three types. Adhyatmikadishu, Adhyatmika dukkha, Adhibhautika dukkha, and Adhidaivika dukkha. These three types of dukkhas are possible. Adhyatmika dukkha is the dukkha that happens in ourselves, in our body. In our body and in our mind also. Jvara shirorogadi kritani dukkhani adhyatmikani, Anandagiri says. Jvara, fever, shiroroga, headache, fever, headache, etc. They are adhyatmika dukkha. And then adhibhautikani, vyaghra sarpadi prayuktani adhibhautikani. Vyaghra, tiger, sarpa, snake. This is older. Anandagiri's time it was Vyaghra Sarpadi. Now we have other adhibhautika, other people. Even people are bhutani, adhibhautika. Vyaghra Sarpadi problem we don't have much. No Vyagras, their number has dwindled much. 500 years ago, when Anandagiri wrote this, there were many Vyagras in India. Now, hardly any Vyagras. I think their total number is 1000 plus, that's all. Not many. So, hardly any such incident we hear nowadays. Tiger eating man. There are a few such we get to hear, but not as frequent as 40 years ago, 30, 40 years ago. It was more often heard, such news. And perhaps when Anandagiri wrote 500 years ago, 600 years ago, it was even more, Vyaghra Sarpadi. But now it is other human beings. Adhibhautika. We find problem because of other people. That is why remove him, remove her, then I will be happy. Adhibhautika problem. And third one is Adhidaivika. Ativata varshadi nimittani. Ativata. Too much of wind. Storm. And varsha. Rain. Etc. All natural calamities. Adverse weather condition. Adhidaivika. So these three types of dukkhas keep coming time and again in life. Dukkheshu adhyatmikadishu, when such difficulties, such unpleasant experiences, prapteshu, when they come, when they are experienced, na udvignam is equal to na prakshubhitam. The mind is not disturbed, not agitated. He does not break down. Dukkha praptau. Dukkheshu prapteshu is dukkha praptau. When such a dukkha occurs, his mind is not dejected. He is able to withstand the dukkha. He is able to withstand the unfavorable events in life. Soyam anudvignamanaha. He is called anudvignamanaha. Tatha sukheshu prapteshu vigata spruha trishna yasya na agniriva indhanadyadhane sukhani anu vivardhante saha vigataspruhaha. Tatha, likewise, sukheshu prapteshu, when sukha comes, when the life turns favorable, when there are pleasurable experiences in life, then vigata spruhayasya, he does not have spruha. Spruha means trishna, desire, thirst. Vigata spruha yasya saha vigata spruhaha. Bahuvrihi samasa. He does not have desire when sukha comes. What does it mean? Bhashyakara explains. Agniriva indhanadyadhane. When indhana, fuel is added to fire, the fire increases. The fire gets enhanced when more and more fuel is added to fire. Likewise, an ajnani, his desires increase as he gets pleasurable experiences in life. Pleasurable experiences add to an ajnani's desires. The more pleasure he gets, the more desires he will have. His desire grows more and more intense. By gratifying the desires, one cannot be free from the desires. If one thinks that I will gratify my desires and I will be free from the desires, he is wrong. That is why there is a story of Yayati in Mahabharata. Because of Shukracharya's curse, Yayati lost his youth, his young age, and he became old because of the shapa. But he wanted to enjoy the life. So he asked his sons. He had 5 sons. He asked each one of them, "Can you give me your youth in exchange of my old age?" Yayati asked his sons. The first 4 rejected. They didn't accept. They said, "We want to retain our youth." But then the last son, 5th one, Puru, he offered his youth to Yayati in exchange of his old age. So Puru became old and Yayati regained his youth. And he enjoyed life for 1000 years. according to Mahabharata. After 1000 years, Yayati makes a statement. Najatu kamah kamanam upabhogena shamyati havisha krishnavartmeva bhuya eva bhivardhate. Yayati is saying, kamaha, desire, does not get quenched, does not get extinguished by upabhoga, by enjoyment, by gratification. One cannot quench one's desires. Instead, the more you gratify the desires, the desire increases. Havisha Krishnavartmeva, just like Krishnavartma, fire, how it increases, how it grows with the addition of fuel, Havisha. Likewise, Kama, desire, Bhuya eva bhivardhate, it increases more and more, further and further, as you gratify the desires. Therefore, gratification of desires is not a way to extinguish the desires. But when an ajnani tries to gratify the desires, feeds his desire, then his desires keep increasing. They keep gaining strength. But the same is not true with the jnani. So, agnihi iva indhanadyadhane. Yatha agnihi indhanadyadhane. Indhana, etc., fuel, etc. So, any form of fuel and even air, blowing air, all these can enhance the fire. But unlike that, a jnani's sukhani anu, jnani sukhani anu trishnaha na vivardhante. Sukhani anu, following sukha, following pleasurable experience, his sukha does not grow. His desire does not grow. His trishna does not grow. Because he is aware of the mithyatva of even the pleasurable experiences of life. Saha vigataspruhaha. He is mentioned as, he is referred to as vigataspruhaha. Sukheshu vigataspruhaha. Vitaraga bhayakrodhaha. Ragascha. Bhayancha. Krodhascha. Vitaha. Vigataha. Yasmat. Saha. Vitaraga bhayakrodhaha. Sthitadhihi. Sthitaprajnaha. Munihi. Sannyasi. Tada uchyate. Vitaraga bhayakrodhaha. Bhashyakara gives the samasa, the vigraha vakya. Ragascha bhayancha krodhascha vitaha vigataha yasmat. saha vitaraga bhaya krodha. From who raga, bhaya and krodha, they are vigataha. They have left him. Not that he is leaving them. Initially he tried to leave them, but ultimately they also leave him without effort because of jnana. No room for raga ityadi. He is called vitaraga bhaya krodha. Sthitadhihi is equal to sthita prajnaha. Only dhihi and prajna, they are synonyms. Munihi, Bhashyakara says Munihi means a sannyasi. Muni is a sannyasi. A jnani is a sannyasi. Because he is free from Eshanatraya, free from Kartrutva. Then he is a sannyasi, irrespective of whether he is really taking sannyasa or not. Sannyasi tada uchyate. Then he is called sthitadhihi. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shantihi. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.